Predictability is the fast track to subjugation. When an opponent knows your pattern, they can engineer your defeat before you even enter the room. True power lies in controlled chaos. By intentionally shattering expected rhythms and introducing calculated shocks, you render their entire playbook useless. Calculated unpredictability is the master discipline of cognitive disorientation. In this episode, discover how to execute pattern breaks, deploy chaos anchors, induce analysis paralysis. In any negotiation, debate, or dynamic interaction, your opponent constantly builds a mental baseline of your temperament, pacing, and strategic priorities. The pattern break is the deliberate act of shattering those established habits without warning. If you have built a reputation for meticulous, slow deliberations, you make an instantaneous, bold decision. If you usually push back against aggressive terms, you suddenly accept one with absolute calm. By breaking your own behavioral pattern, you instantly break their focus, seizing psychological momentum before they can recover their composure. A steady emotional tone allows an opponent to comfortably construct their defensive posture. The strategic mood shift disrupts this stability by introducing controlled, unpredictable variations in your interpersonal energy. You transition smoothly from open, warm collaboration to stark clinical detachment, not out of emotional weakness but with surgical calculation. They begin walking on eggshells, eager to regain your initial warmth and approval. By keeping your internal emotional environment volatile and unpredictable, you shift the psychological burden entirely onto them, forcing them to spend critical cognitive energy managing your perception instead of pressing their advantage. Before entering a confrontation, experienced players prepare script-like responses for your most probable moves. The counterintuitive offer completely neutralizes this preparation by presenting an option that contradicts standard logic. Instead of fighting over a contested concession, you might unexchange for a seemingly minor, unrelated structural condition by presenting an option that contradicts standard logic. Alternatively, you might propose a term so radically different from market standards that it falls entirely outside their pre-planned decision tree. Because their prepared arguments no longer apply to the new reality, their momentum stalls completely. They are forced to abandon their polished script and improvise under high pressure. While they struggle to make sense of your offer, you maintain absolute control over the frame. In the game of strategic leverage, clarity allows opponents to compute precise risk profiles and construct effective counters. You express high enthusiasm verbally while maintaining distant, cold body language, or send formal memos that contradict your informal remarks. This constant flow of mixed signals forces their strategic team into endless loops of overanalysis. Unable to settle on a single coherent picture of your intentions, they suffer from acute analysis paralysis. They hesitate at crucial execution windows, delay countermoves, and second-guess their own intelligence. By clouding their vision with controlled noise, you render their analytical capabilities useless. Standard negotiations rely on predictable anchorages. The chaos anchor is an outrageous, completely unexpected variable introduced specifically to shatter the existing frame and reset the baseline. This move is not meant to be accepted outright. Rather, it introduces a shock factor that expands the boundaries of what is possible. By dropping a wildcard requirement or a seemingly irrational demand late in the game, you force the opponent to pause and reevaluate the entire landscape. The shock value recalibrates their expectations down to earth. Suddenly, terms they previously considered aggressive begin to look reasonable compared to the chaos you just introduced into the room. The ultimate mastery of calculated unpredictability lies in your ability to maintain complete internal discipline while projecting absolute volatility to the external world. The unpredictable master never acts out of genuine anger, fear, or impulse. Every pattern break, sudden silence, or counterintuitive offer is executed with cold, deliberate calculation. When opponents attempt to profile you, they find no steady handle to grasp. You become a moving target that cannot be pinned down by traditional playbooks or behavioral analysis. Because they can never accurately forecast your next move, they are forced into a permanently defensive posture. They stop attempting to manipulate or pressure you, realizing that any aggressive push might trigger an unpredictable counter-response that ruins their position entirely. By mastering the art of controlled chaos, you establish an environment where your silence creates suspense, your actions create panic, and your unreadability grants you ultimate operational freedom. You dominate the field simply by being the one element they can never hope to control or predict.